I mean, his name is Luka Magic for a reason, and you see that. You see his play on the game. He's a very transcendent player.
Do you realize this, Malika? I played with 15 Hall of Famers. None of them cheated the game where they didn't give forth the effort on both ends of the floor. Again, Luka, this is why Nico and the Dallas Mavericks stopped believing in you.
Gil, what stood out to you the most about Luka's performance?
I'm trying to keep the excitement down.
It's okay.
Luka Dončić has never been a quiet force in the NBA. From the moment he stepped onto the court, he's been a headline maker. With his unique European style, confidence, and brilliant basketball mind, he's caught everyone's attention. But recently, the buzz around Luka has reached a whole new level. It's no longer just about triple-doubles or highlight plays. It's about his legacy, a shocking trade, and a betrayal that has rocked the entire league. Luka was traded from Dallas, moved to Los Angeles, and now he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. In LA, he's not just fitting in, he's taking over. Every game, every assist, every clutch three-pointer feels like a bold statement. The league is watching, some in awe, some in disbelief, and others still wondering if the Mavericks really knew what they were doing. Now, let's talk about Anthony Edwards. This rising star isn't just wowing fans with his electrifying dunks and bold energy. He's also becoming a true student of the game. Known for his fearless attitude, Edwards is quietly studying Luka's game, calling him must-watch film. He's taking notes and learning from one of the best.
Watch how they attack it and watch how they try to manipulate themselves, especially Luka. I watch a lot of Luka, seeing how he attacked the double team, even though we play at different paces, but just seeing his strategy to beat the double team.
That's not just talk. That's one of the top young guards in the game, a future superstar, admitting he watches Luka Dončić like he's studying a master at basketball strategy. And let's not forget, Anthony Edwards is a player known for his speed and athleticism, but Luka operates at a different pace. He plays slow, deliberate, and unpredictable, but it works so well that even someone like Edwards is taking notes. What makes Luka so special isn't just his stats. It's the control, the way he manages the game, and the smart decisions he makes. Luka dissects defensive with precision, almost like a surgeon. While Edwards plays at a different speed, it's Luka's basketball IQ, timing, and ability to outsmart defenders that make him a model for others to follow. And Edwards isn't alone. Around the league, more young players are talking about Luka's patience, his ability to read the game, and how he turns traps into scoring chances. Luka isn't just putting up impressive numbers. He's reshaping how the next generation sees the game. That's the mark of a true game changer, a blueprint. Luka Dončić is setting the standard, and even the most talented young players are smart enough to study his moves. But let's shift gears and talk about Mark Cuban. The man who once bet the entire future of the Mavericks on Luka now still seems like he's trying to understand what went wrong. In an interview, Cuban didn't shy away from the tough questions. He didn't try to spin it. He sounded like a man still processing everything that happened.
Is it hard being in that position to go, this guy, you like the guy, you go, this is a skilled guy, but you have to look at a team's needs? And
yeah, it is, right? Because you develop personal relationships with them. And I love Luka, right? We weren't best buddies, but I would text him all the time and DM him and, try to, I would give him all these motivational quotes, even gave him books to read and stuff to read, and so we had a good relationship, got along great with his dad. I mean, I was just as dumbfounded as everybody else.
Let that sink in. Cuban didn't just say it was tough. He sounded like someone going through breakup. Texts, quotes, books, DMs. He was invested.
Let that sink in. Mark Cuban didn't just say it was tough. He sounded like someone scrolling through old breakup texts, reading quotes, books, and DMs. You could tell he was deeply invested. This was personal. And hearing him talk now, it's clear it still stings. This wasn't just another cold decision from a front office. This was the guy who fought hard to keep Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, the same guy who celebrated every Luka buzzer beater like a kid on Christmas. Now he's on the sidelines, watching Luka dominate in Los Angeles, putting up MVP numbers. You can hear the regret in his voice. When an owner starts reminiscing about sending motivational quotes to his superstar, you know he wishes things had turned out differently. And he's not the only one. On the Gilbert Arenas show, the conversation took a turn that even die-hard Lakers fans weren't expecting. Gilbert wasn't asking about where Luka ranks among today's best players. He was asking something much bigger.
I'm trying to figure out how fast do I put him in my top 5.
Yeah. Laker? Top 5 Laker?
Top
right?
What?
Is that top 5?
All time.
A top 5 Laker?
Or top 5 player?
A top 5 Laker all time?
Yeah. Luka's been a Laker for only a short time, yet here's Gilbert Arenas, an all-star, a scorer, and a true student of the game, already questioning if Luka belongs among the Lakers' greatest names. Gilbert's not saying this to grab attention or stir up drama. He's genuinely impressed by Luka's performances, his control, his leadership, and asking, how is this guy already this good? That kind of impact and presence doesn't happen by chance. Luka's not just putting up big numbers. He's creating a legacy as we speak. And if players like Gilbert are already discussing whether Luka could be top 5 in Lakers history, it's because Luka isn't just joining the Lakers story. He's reshaping it. When LeBron James speaks, the basketball world doesn't just listen. They stop and reflect. LeBron's not just a legend. He's the living example of greatness. So when he took a moment to reflect on Luka's journey, it wasn't just admiration, it was true empathy.
I mean, his name is Luka Magic for a reason, and you see that. You see his play on the game. He's a very transcendent player, and if you talk about that moment, you got to think. I can't put myself in his shoes because I've never been traded before, but I can have a sense and be a human being to know you commit to a franchise for 7 years and you feel like, this is the place where I'm gonna be. This is my.
Let that sink in. LeBron James says he can't even imagine going through what Luka just went through. That speaks volumes, because LeBron is a man who's faced every kind of pressure, made tough decisions, and carried entire teams on his shoulders. Yet, even he recognizes that being traded from the team you helped build, the one you gave everything to, hurts in a way that's different. This wasn't just a basketball move. It was about identity, loyalty, and being blindsided by a decision that shakes your very foundation. What Luka has done since then, responding with dominance, leadership, and unshakable poise, that's what sets him apart. That's what makes him great. And when LeBron, the king himself, tips his crown to you, you know you're on your way to building your own kingdom. Jim Rome didn't hold back. No sugarcoating, no diplomacy. He gave a raw take on what could go down as one of the most confusing trades in NBA history.
Dude, number one, you don't trade Hall of Famers. And number two, you don't trade Hall of Famers in their prime who are only going to get better. And you certainly don't trade them and say, well, we did it for the now, only to have the guy that you traded him for not play a single half before he went down.
There it is. No analyst jargon. No front office spin. Just plain common sense. The kind of sense fans across the league were shouting when the news first broke. Jim Rome cuts through the noise and says what everyone needed to hear. You don't trade a generational superstar for uncertainty, especially when that superstar is still improving, still reaching new heights of greatness. And then to see the so-called win-now replacement not even make it to halftime before getting injured, that's not just a misstep. It's a textbook example of mismanagement. Jim didn't just criticize the trade, he exposed it. And by doing so, he gave voice to the growing sentiment that Dallas didn't just lose a player. They lost a player, the kind you don't find again. Paul Gasol doesn't throw compliments around lightly. A Hall of Famer, a two-time NBA champion, and someone who knows what greatness looks like, having played beside it and lived through it on the biggest stage. So when he speaks about Luka Dončić, you listen.
Generational talent, a guy that he's put up crazy numbers in his first 5.5 years of his career. First All-NBA teams. Yeah. Took the team to the finals with Kyrie and the rest of the guys last year. And then
Gasol isn't exaggerating. Luka isn't just a great young player. He's already building a resume that many legends would envy. Multiple first-team All-NBA selections in nearly every season, video game-level stats night after night, and deep playoff runs that turn skeptics into believers. When Paul Gasol pauses and says, "Boom," that's the sound of a career shift. He's referring to the trade, the shock, and the moment everything changed. But even with that twist, Pau's message is clear. Luka isn't going anywhere. He's still that guy, still dominating, still rewriting the record books. And to legends like Gasol, the writing's already on the wall. We're witnessing greatness in real time. Kyrie Irving, one of the most skilled players to ever play the game, knows greatness when he sees it. He's battled the league's best, hit clutch shots in the finals, and played alongside LeBron. So when Kyrie is asked about Luka Doncic's one-on-one game, he doesn't hesitate.
Magni, IWW, where do you rank Luka as a 1v1 player in the league? Luka's one of the best. One of the best of all time. It's one of the best of all.
That's not just respect, it's reverence. And coming from Kyrie, who's a walking highlight reel with a Hall of Fame level handle, it means everything. He's seen Luka up close, shared the court with him, and watched him break down defenders with footwork, strength, patience, and insane shot making. This isn't just hype. It's first-hand recognition. Luka doesn't beat you with flash. He breaks you down with precision. And when someone like Kyrie Irving calls him one of the best at isolating, that's not just a compliment, it's a warning. On Locked On Lakers, the praise for Luka Doncic reached rarefied air. They weren't just talking about his stats or highlight plays. They were discussing his gravity, the way defenses react to him, even when he's not filling up the score sheet.
Stu Lance pointed out that, the Spurs weren't seemingly aware that this was a night Luka wasn't shooting well, or I was thinking, or they are aware, but that's just the power of a player like Luka. This happens with LeBron. We covered Kobe for 10 years. There would be games, or hell, even times post-Achilles with Kobe, where Kobe was, at that point, a shell of himself physically. He would still draw doubles.
Stu Lance pointed out something interesting. The Spurs didn't seem aware that it was a night when Luka wasn't shooting well, or maybe they were aware. But that's just the power of a player like Luka. It's the same thing with LeBron. We covered Kobe for 10 years, and even after his Achilles injury, there were games where Kobe was physically a shadow of himself, yet he'd still draw double teams. That's legacy-level presence. When your mere presence on the floor forces a double team, when teams panic at the thought of you getting into rhythm, that's greatness. Kobe had it, LeBron has it, and now Luka has it too. Even on an off night, defenses can't take their eyes off him, not because they fear he'll go off, but because they know he can. That kind of fear isn't taught, it's earned. Spencer Dinwiddie, Luka's former teammate, knows exactly how dangerous he is because he's seen it firsthand. In a recent interview, Dinwiddie didn't just offer generic praise. He broke down exactly why Luka is so tough to guard, especially in the post.
Once you add the post game, it changes that conversation with L, because you put a small guy on L, like he's really walking you to the block.
Christmas.
Like Shay's bump fade off the block, that's more like ISO 2-man game. Like Luka really bury you. Like he'll just walk you down, push shot it 3 feet.
What Dinwiddie is describing isn't flashy. It's pure fundamental dominance. Luka isn't just isolating like most guards. He's playing chest down low. He uses his size, patience, and footwork to punish mismatches. That slow, deliberate walk to the rim, it's all intentional. Luka is wearing defenders down, waiting for them to make the smallest mistake. And when they do, it's already too late. While other perimeter stars rely on speed or quick pull-ups, Luka has a mix of old-school moves and a modern basketball IQ. That's why big men can't guard him, and small guards stand no chance. Dinwiddie's insight cuts through all the noise. Luka isn't just a scorer or playmaker. He's a bully in the post with the mind of a point guard. That combination, practically unguardable. Austin Reeves, now sharing the court with Luka in Los Angeles, didn't hold back when asked about his new teammate. For Reeves, it wasn't just about playing next to a superstar. It was about teaming up with a killer.